It was a warm evening on the outskirts of Austin, Texas. The rumble of Harley engines echoed through the quiet streets as the Iron Hawk's biker crew stopped outside a small roadside diner. The men laughed loudly, their leather jackets catching the orange glow of the setting sun. Jack Turner, their leader, a rugged man in his 40s with steel-grey eyes, leaned against his bike, sipping coffee and teasing his friends about their last ride. Suddenly, a small figure appeared at the edge of the parking lot, a little girl, barefoot and trembling, running toward them. Her cheeks were streaked with tears, and she clutched a worn-out teddy bear against her chest. "Please, please help my mom," she cried, her voice cracking with fear. The bikers fell silent, exchanging quick, uneasy glances. Jack immediately knelt down to her level, his voice soft but steady.
"What happened, sweetheart?"
The girl sniffled and pointed down the dusty road. "Our car crashed. Mommy's stuck inside." Nobody stopped. Without hesitation, Jack turned to his crew. "Mount up, boys!" In an instant, helmets went on, engines roared back to life, and the Iron Hawks thundered down the dirt road, not for a joyride, but to save a life. The roar of the engines cut through the quiet countryside as the bikers followed the little girl's directions. Dust rose behind their wheels, while the sun dipped lower on the horizon. After a few minutes, they spotted a wrecked sedan lying on its side near a dry creek bed. Smoke drifted from the hood, and glass glittered across the ground. Jack was the first to reach it, dropping his helmet and running toward the car. "She's in there!" the girl cried. Jack peered inside and saw a woman slumped over the steering wheel, blood seeping from a cut on her forehead. "Hang on, ma'am," he muttered. "We got you." One of the bikers dialed 911, while another used his pocket knife to slice the seatbelt. Jack and his crew worked quickly, prying open the jammed door and pulling the woman out carefully. She was breathing, but barely. The little girl clung to her mother's arm, sobbing uncontrollably. "You're safe now," Jack assured her. Within minutes, distant sirens grew louder, flashing red and blue against the fading sky. When the paramedics arrived, they were stunned to see rough, tattooed bikers covered in sweat and dirt, kneeling beside the woman, their leather vests smeared with blood, their eyes filled with quiet concern. At the hospital, the halls buzzed with urgency as doctors rushed Sarah, the injured woman, into the emergency room. Jack stayed in the waiting area with the little girl, Emily, who sat quietly, her teddy bear clutched tight against her chest. The tough biker tried to hide his worry, offering her a gentle smile. "You did good, kid," he said softly. "You got her help just in time." Emily looked up at him, her voice trembling. "Mom says Daddy's in heaven. I thought maybe nobody would come." Jack's chest tightened. Memories of his own daughter, lost years ago in an accident, flickered painfully in his mind. He swallowed hard and said, "You're brave, Emily. Your mom's lucky to have you." Hours dragged by until finally the doctor walked out, removing his gloves with a relieved sigh. "She's going to be okay," he said. Emily gasped and threw her tiny arms around Jack, crying tears of joy. The bikers, usually loud and fearless, stood silently, their tough faces softening. Jack patted her back, whispering, "Told you she'd make it." In that quiet hospital corridor, surrounded by leather and steel, a few days later, Sarah finally woke up in her hospital bed, her face pale but her smile warm. Emily was right beside her, holding her hand, refusing to leave her side. When the nurse told her that the bikers who rescued her were in the lobby, Sarah asked to see them immediately. The door opened, and Jack entered with his crew, their heavy boots echoing softly against the floor. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "You're the men who saved us," she said weakly. Jack scratched the back of his neck. "Just happened to be in the right place, ma'am." She reached for his hand and squeezed it. "No, you were exactly where we needed you." Emily ran to Jack and hugged him tightly, whispering, "You're my hero." For a man who'd seen more miles than emotions, it hit deep. "We're just glad you're both okay," he murmured. Before leaving, Jack placed his Iron Hawk's patch on the nightstand. "For luck," he said with a grin. From that day on, Sarah and Emily visited the bikers every year, bringing cookies and smiles. The town that once judged the Iron Hawks for their rough looks now knew them as the men whose hearts rode louder than their engines. A bond was forming, one built not from blood, but from courage and compassion.